What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very, very important update about the markets as we have some announcements that came out from President Trump. Just know that I am not a financial planner. So, the first thing I want to say is that the market was pushing in the morning because of the news about how President Trump mentioned that he's not going to be firing Jerome Powell. And also because of the fact that, when it comes to the trade between the US and China, President Trump had been saying that there's going to be a deal with the US and China coming, and he was very optimistic about it. And he also said yesterday that there could be eventually there's going to be lowered tariffs for China, right? He did say that, but that wasn't confirmed yet. He just said that that's something that they could be working on, right? So the market was pushing initially, doing a good job. It pushed even more because there was some reports that came out from the Wall Street Journal that the tariffs could be coming down to about 50 to 65%. This is what we heard from the Wall Street Journal and many other sources. However, the White House has not confirmed this. So initially, the market was pushing on this news, but now it's starting to slow down a bit because of this news right here. So later on, what happened was President Trump came out and he said that the US will have a fair trade deal with China. That's some big news. He just said that a couple of minutes ago. And then we also have some news that came out from the US Treasury Secretary. They have basically declined to comment on the Wall Street Journal story about the lowered tariffs. And they were basically saying that that's not confirmed yet. They're saying that President Trump has not confirmed lower tariffs on China quite yet. And I think as soon as they said that, that's when the market started to slow down. This is the exact quote right here. There's no unilateral offer from Trump to cut Chinese tariffs, at least not yet. So for now, this is very, very interesting because, before President Trump did say that he was open to decreasing the tariffs on China, but it's not confirmed yet, right? He's open to that. And he did talk about how that's like a stronger possibility yesterday. There was news that came out that said that that was going to happen, which is why the market started to push. But then President Trump is saying that there's going to be a deal with China. But as of right now, the Treasury Secretary has said that President Trump has not confirmed that he has cut tariffs on China yet. It's not confirmed yet, despite the fact that mainstream media is saying that. So I want to make that very clear. That has not been confirmed. So we want to make this very, very clear about how things are going to be moving forward, at least from this point on. So with that being said, because it's not confirmed, the market's starting to dip right now. That's the reason why we start off with this pump and now we're starting to slow down. So what do I see at least moving forward? Well, the first thing I just want to mention is that 540 is a very important pivot level. If we can hold above that, that's going to be a good sign. If not, it's not going to be the best of signs. Then we have 537.89 as the next support. That's going to be our 20 EMA to see if SPY holds that. If 537 fails for SPY, I'm a little bit concerned about this gap over here because when you look at the daily charts, we do have this big gap that formed, right? If we don't hold 537, it's possible we start coming down to fill this gap towards like 527. Not 100% guaranteed it goes that low. We'll first be looking for 530 to see if that holds. So we're watching essentially 535 to see if that holds. If not, the gap fill could be coming down here. If 535 breaks, we're looking for 530. Remember how I was talking about that blue trend line? This blue trend line, how this was acting as resistance for SPY. Well, we're trying to hold above it, and we have to see if we can do that. If not, this could be returning back down towards those levels. So you want to be very, very careful. So SPY is starting to show signs that it might reject. We need confirmation, of course, but keep in mind that there are going to be some risks of some downside if we can't get back above 540. On the QQQ, we push to basically 460. We want to get back above 465 to continue. If 460 does not hold, we could be dipping back down towards basically there's 450 as a potential target if 455 fails us. So it's 455, then 450. If that fails us, I'm looking for essentially 448. So please be very careful as the market is beginning to slow with this news. The IWM pumped to about 195. We did get the pump initially, but now because President Trump has not confirmed cuts on Chinese tariffs yet, according to the Treasury Secretary, this could slow down to 190, if not 188. So be very mindful of that. We're looking to see if we could hold around this, this very, very key level at 5,400. If we don't hold that, we could be dipping quite a bit more. So that's going to be very, very important for how things are going to be looking. So this could turn us back down to this gap fill towards 5,300 if we don't hold 5,400. Please be very careful. For NQ, we're rejecting right here. If we end up losing 18,600, we're looking for a dip back down towards 18,300. On Bitcoin, we're rejecting as well. We're going to be looking to see if 92,000 holds. If not, we could be dipping towards 90,000 flats. Tesla needs to get back above 255 or else we could be retesting 246. Look at 250 and 246 as supports. If those fails, we could be continuing to fall. Nvidia did not break past 104. We had to break that for confirmation. Now we're looking for a 101.8 as support to 100. If those fails, we could be dipping more. For Apple, we pumped very nicely to 205. We got to get back above that if we can't. If the Chinese tariffs are not confirmed to be cut yet by President Trump, we could be dipping towards like 202 or below. So you want to be very careful. For Coinbase, we're rejecting as well. We need to get back above 195. If not, we could be dipping towards like 189. For Amazon, we got a rejection candlestick. We're looking for 180, 178 to be retested. If that fails us, we're looking for 175, and we'll see if we bounce. Meta's rejecting off 524. If that fails us, we're looking for 508 again. For Microsoft, we're rejecting. We're looking for 373, if not 370, as our supports. And for Google, we could be dipping towards 154. So my point is the VIX is starting to run. And also, you'll notice that the VIX has a gap to fill up here. So it's starting to fill this gap here. That could be a bad sign for bulls. And this is a sign the market's going to decline. So please be very careful. President Trump has not confirmed the cuts yet, according to the Treasury Secretary. I'll keep you guys updated in case we get more updates. We'll see what happens with this deal with China. We'll see what President Trump has to say. But for now, the market's starting to reject. So keep that in mind. Thank you for listening and peace out.